All right, we're live, guys. What is up? Tech Tony here, back live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter today. I'm not doing TikTok because it'd be weird because I can't invite. Are you on TikTok, Eric?
No, I'm not on TikTok.
So I couldn't do it anyways. So sorry for fans on TikTok. You're gonna get the replay. But this is great. I got Eric here. He's a guest. Someone reached out to me. Eric, tell people who you are, what you're doing, where you're at, and information about you, man. Go for it, dude.
Sure. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for having me on your show. What we do is I own a digital marketing agency. It's called This Is My South Bay. I live in the South Bay area of Los Angeles, and I've grown up there, and I do business there, and it's home for pretty much my whole life. We have clients from around the country and some out of the country, but it's just kind of like a case study on how to do local search engine optimization campaigns, social media campaigns, and things like that. So our agency is very search engine optimization centric, and that's what that's what we lead with our agency.
So for those that may be new or haven't heard this, search engine optimization, the short form is called SEO. Every business, just like me, I'm a PPC guy. Technically, I'm not an SEO guy. Every business hears this term SEO, and they gotta have this little black box called the internet in their business, but they don't know how to access it properly. So Eric's called the long form search engine optimization, which is what it's called. For those that are new, Eric, or aren't familiar with the term search engine optimization, can you break it down for them and give us an explanation? Because that's what you typically specialize in, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct. So basically what it is let's say you go to Google, Bing, Yahoo, etc. Those are what are considered search engines. And so let's say that again.
Who's Bing?
You'll be surprised. You get a lot of traffic from there also if you optimize, because it's often overlooked. But the big one in the field is obviously Google. It gets about 97% of the searches. So let's say you have a car that broke down and you're searching for a mechanic. So when you type in mechanic and Google figures out more or less where you're where you're searching from, it gives you search results. So on the search results page, you have, let's say, the top several that it says sponsored, and then the bottom couple at the bottom of the search results page that's sponsored. Everything else on that page, where there's about 10 on a page, is what is organically listed there from Google. You can't buy that listing. It's just something that Google thinks that website and that user are a good fit for that keyword. And so that is something that you need to optimize for in order to get ranked on that for that keyword on Google. And when you get that traffic coming in from Google, that free traffic for a small to mid-sized business, it's a game changer. So you have to spend some time and some effort trying to get optimized, try to get listed on those reports.
Yes. And this is the phrase that's important in business. You realize it's free traffic when optimized properly.
Exactly.
The biggest area with companies that I do, because I also deal with small to medium-sized businesses. I deal with some large ones, but mainly most of my clients are small mom and pop shops. And do you guys deal with Google Maps?
Absolutely.
Why is that so important? Like, because I can't stress Google Maps enough. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe 60% of all searches every day are small business related on Google.
Exactly.
Or is the map.
Exactly. So what you're doing is let's say you're on your phone and you want to bring up, you want to look for, the other day I was looking for a juice shop near me. And so I just typed in juice shop and up comes a map and a listing of places that are nearby. And you click it and it's 3 minutes walking distance, a block this way, 2 blocks that way, and boom, you're there. And so with Google Maps, you want to be on Google My Business, Google Maps, Google Places. You want to be able to harness the traffic and the power of Google with all the different ways that people are searching for Google. And so Google Maps it's a big part of the puzzle for local business.
Well, one of my pet peeves, I don't know about you. One of my pet peeves when I'm using Google Maps, I type something in, results come up, the three map pack or more. The businesses don't have like a phone number or an address, and it frustrates me because just like you said, you type something in, you're literally in that moment, and this is something you small business have to realize. You're in that moment. I'm ready to buy. I'm looking for someone to give my money to, and I can't call you. I can't contact you. I can't get your product in my hand as fast as possible. And that's so much money being lost. I had a client of mine, what were we doing yesterday? It was a music shop. And so I don't do SEO, but where our worlds bleed is there's an extension on Google PPC called the location extension. When you run an ad, your ad will show up in the map and it'll show up with a little pin and the search results saying, this is their address type of situation. And I was looking at my clients. This was a pretty small town. In the last 30 days, he showed up 2,000 times in the search result, solely the map alone, organically, for the correct terms, thank goodness. And I looked at him and I was like, listen, how many people have walked in your front door the last 30 days? And he's like, oh, about 100 and some customers just walked in here. I'm like, wouldn't it be great to have more? Because like you just show up. And my favorite things, to help a client optimize their Google My Business is post pictures and reviews. That's I don't know what order they're supposed to be in. What's the importance of all that?
Well, let's say for Google My Business, for example, you want to make sure that Google is clear on what it is that your business is specializing in. What's the strong suit of a business. Every business has something that they do just to do, and then they have other services that they're really good at. Mm-hmm. So Google doesn't want to drive traffic and visitors to your services that you're not that great. It wants to really figure out, hey, what is the thing that you're most proud of and the best that you do, the service that you offer. And so I lead with those services. And so you want to be able to, on Google My Business, you should post once a week, no more than 3 times a week.
Really?
Yeah, there are people that post daily or a couple times a day. On Google My Business, the listing is live for about a week. And then after that, it's gone. It's kind of like Snapchat, but instead of a day, it's a week.
Interesting.
And so you need to stay in their system. And you can in the description you can geo-target it. You can do all kinds of things to get Google's attention. There's a app that I've been using. It's called Local Viking, and it literally you put the Google My Business listing in there, and it has a grid when you set it up, and it says on this zip code for this keyword you're ranked number 10. And then for the zip code across the street or down the street, you're ranked number 1. And over here, it gives you per zip code or per area how you're ranked. And so if you want to rank for a different zip code that's down the street, then you're going to have to create content and mention that zip code or that area and so on. And so there are some amazing tools that we use that organically. Like you said, that traffic coming in from Google, whether you get 100 visitors a week to your customer's location, it could be more. It's just the traffic is tremendous with Google. You just need to figure out how to harness that energy to benefit your clients.
Eric, I love what you said, content, because we're making content right now. You're obviously been podcasting for a while. You know the importance of content creation. I don't know about you with your clients. Are your clients pretty good at making content? Because I gotta beat the content out of my clients.
I'm with you. It's difficult because people have a business to run, and most people are not looking to create content. They're not writers. They don't want to get in front of the camera. They don't want to. They just want to do their business, and they're just like ranking, and that's just not how it works. We're feeding Google food almost. Google wants content, and so when Google takes that content, it's going to rank you based on that content. And so a lot of clients, you need to beat it out of them, or you have to I'm not crazy about doing stock images and things like that. I prefer to have images or videos like this. This is a perfect example of taking a video like this. Let's say we speak for 20 minutes and you take this video and you put it onto, for example, YouTube, and then you transcribe the video. And so you create a blog post and you embed the video onto the blog post, and then you have the writing, the transcription below it. You've just created a content, and you're creating content that's hitting different senses. Some people will listen to this when they're jogging. Some people will watch it. Other people like to read it. So you're hitting different senses also. And the thing that happens is when you embed this onto your website, this blog post, if people stay on your website for a longer period of time, that identifies to Google that this is a good keyword, that this is a good website for this keyword for people that are staying on the website. Because one of the metrics that Google looks at is time on site. So if I have someone that comes to my site and stays for 2 seconds and leaves, that's not a good indicator to Google. If I have someone that comes to my website and reads this blog post and then watches another video for 5 minutes and so on, and then leaves, then Google's going to look at that and see average time on site and number of pages visited and so on, and it's going to say, okay, this keyword is a good match for this website. The secret sauce to Google, I always say, is that Google is user-centric. Many search engines have come and gone, and they've been advertiser-centric. And so what Google is doing is it's saying, I'm going to give you the best possible result. Kind of like the example that you gave, that sometimes you go on the 3-pack or you do a search and the result doesn't have a website or doesn't have a phone number or you don't remember who those companies were that didn't have the information. You just remember Google. And so you have a bad feeling for Google in your mind, not the website that didn't list the phone number.
Good
and
point.
So that's the thing that Google is always working on, is to deliver the best possible search results to its users. And that's why it's looking for websites that have everything in place with the website, the phone number, the Google Maps, the Google Places, Google My Business. So it's easy for the user to find it. Make sure that the website doesn't have broken links, or it doesn't take 10 seconds to load when it should take 2 seconds to load, and certain things like that. Because if you go to Google, you type in a keyword, you're searching for something, you click on the search results, you click on one of the links, you go to the website, and the website takes 10 seconds to load. You're not upset with that website, you're upset with Google. And so, that's just kind of how it is. And so Google is protecting itself. So when it delivers up a search result, it's more valuable to the user because they know that Google has almost kicked the tires and checked it and make sure that it's a legit site, and that you're going to have as good of a user experience as you can.
You're talking about going to websites. How frustrating is it when you go to a website? It pisses me off because it's called an unsecure website. Yeah. Because when you run ads, if your website's unsecure, Google might approve it, but you're going to get a yellow triangle that's a warning on your ad, and then Google's going to charge you more for it. What do you have to say to these businesses that what's a good way to say it? In my case, are lazy to get the secure SSL license on their website? What's the importance of that?
Well, I don't know if it's lazy. They just don't know. And we have to keep in mind.
Nicer, yeah. Probably you don't know, because on my end, it costs them more money.
Yes, and it's a minimal charge. It's not, it's just kind of implementing it that people feel overwhelmed. And so, sometimes I've had situations where clients are, we're going to add a password to something, and they're flustered, and it's, they don't want to deal with it. And I get it. They have a business to run. They have bills to pay. They have their family time. They have all these other things that they need to take care of, and digital marketing is not at the top of the list. That they're going to learn things or do things and things like that. It's devastating to an SEO campaign, and I'm sure to a Google Ads campaign, to have an unsecure site. It's just not something that Google appreciates. It's not, you're sending Google's going to be sending you traffic and you're not vouching to Google that it's a secure site. And so that's going to be a problem. You're going to pay more for it. And I found oftentimes Google won't even, they won't even run ads for those websites. You have to work on it a little bit. You have to finesse it and things like that. It's a minimal charge, and it's something that we do to make sure that the website is compliant, and we get on with it, or else we're just going to be stuck dealing with, situations. The interesting thing is, when Google is not selling you the traffic, imagine you have the money, you put in the credit card info into the Google account, and you're wanting to run ads for your client, and Google is saying thank you very much, but keep your money. So you can't buy the traffic. So if you think that Google is not going to sell you the traffic, but it's going to give you traffic organically, you're sadly mistaken. So that's what happens, is that you shoot yourself in the foot with the PPC campaign, and then you can't get the organic, the SEO campaign off the ground because Google is not ranking you. It's not delivering paid ads, it's not delivering free ads, and you're just kind of stuck. So yeah, that's a great point. That's something that should be done immediately.
That's something that you mentioned. I like how you say you can't buy the traffic. I was hired recently to audit a company's online activities. Hey, Tony, we have this company doing our stuff for us. We just want to make sure they're doing their job. And you explain a few things to us. I was sure. And I was in their analytics, and I was looking at their time on site and the web flow, what people were doing on the website. And it took me about a week to pick this pattern up. And what I found out was during a certain very particular time periods every day, somebody was going to the website, taking the same path, but not completing an action. They weren't calling or filling a form. And it was doing this a lot. And I was looking at this, I sent it over to one of my marketing buddies, and he's like, oh, that's a bot farm. So you're not supposed to pay for traffic, and they're definitely getting traffic that they paid for. And they were trying to figure out, like, why aren't we ranking so well? And it's like, because Google knows, guys. Like, Google will figure this out. And what essentially turned out to be, the company they hired outsourced the work. And there's nothing wrong with outsourcing, but they outsourced some of the SEO work to a thing in India. And they just uploaded something into a bot farm, and clickety-clack away as they were getting traffic to their website. And I was like, oh no.
You're not going to fool Google. People are just not going to fool Google. They do all these things to get around Google. And if they spent the same efforts to do things in a legit way, in a white hat way, they would be better served down the road. So people are like, okay, let me try to game the system so that we can get immediate results and make an impact and make the client happy. But then in the long term, Google knows what's happening. And these days, not even long term, Google figures it out pretty quickly what's going on. Mm-hmm. If you know that the traffic's coming from India, because you're looking at Google Analytics probably. So the name Google is on Analytics. Google knows where it's coming from also. So it's able to figure out, if you have a restaurant in, I don't know, New York City, and there's traffic coming in from Russia to that website, what are the chances all those people that live in Russia are going to be coming on vacation and going to that restaurant in New York City? So the odds are
probably
minimal. So at that point, Google can make the designation that this is a bot farm or this is something is going on. Let's raise a flag. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's lower the ranking and let's play it safe. And then it kind of spirals backwards from there.
So where you're at you're in Los Angeles, correct?
Yes.
Working with your clients, do you have a lot of clients there locally?
I have clients locally, and I have clients nationwide. And I have some clients out of the country also, like Canada and Europe and so on.
How is it with the search traffic there helping your clients there locally to leverage it? Because where I'm at, Dothan, Alabama, LA is way bigger than where I'm at. So how is it with the search traffic that you're helping your clients leverage that? Because one of the things you mentioned was like local content creation. Yeah.
With LA and some of the bigger cities, it's extremely competitive. The pay-per-click is expensive. and the organic, everyone's fighting for it. We have 25 million people that live within about a 30-mile radius. And so there's a lot of people living here. There's a lot of businesses, and there's a lot of money, and there's a lot of competition. There's just a lot of everything. And so when you get a little bit outside of LA, or when you go to smaller towns, it's a little bit easier to get ranked for particular keywords, especially when it's a local business. If it's an e-commerce business or something, and you're competing on a nationwide or worldwide basis, like if I was selling pencils, it's going to be difficult because I'm going to be competing not just in LA, not just in the United States, not just in companies in China to Brazil to everywhere. And so, but when it's a local business, like back in the day, my mom used to be a real estate agent. And so we were competing with, at the most, 100 other agents within a certain radius. So you kind of bring, she's not competing with, China and Canada and, New York City and things like that. So it becomes an easier way to do things. And so that's where, local search engine optimization is very important.
Nice. When you're going over with a client, you get a new client starting to onboard, what's your process in making sure just that when you start your work, they're already set for success? What are you looking for? We talked about making sure the website's secure, things like that. What are some other things that you're like, hey, small businesses, you need to do this?
Sure. What we do is when we're onboarding, we ask for maybe the top 10 competitors that they have, especially locally. Everybody seems to have their eye on this company down the street that they feel like is kicking butt, and they'd love to be like that. So top 10 competitors and maybe top 10 or 20 keywords that they would love to rank for. And so when they give us those keywords that they would love to rank for, there's other variations of that keyword also. Like for example, in real estate, since I just mentioned real estate, let's say city and then condominium for sale or condo for sale. Those are different keywords, and duplex versus multi-unit and things like that. There's different variations that we come up with that we have a meeting with the client and go over keywords that work. So it could be that condo for sale has 100 searches a month with 100 competitors, and condominium for sale maybe has 50 searches a month, but it only has 2 competitors. And so we're going to go after maybe the lower search volume, but the competition isn't there. So we want to have as high of a search volume and low competition to kind of get things rolling. And so competitor analysis, keyword analysis first and foremost. And then we look at the website to make sure that it's optimizable, that the load time is good. And we test the mobile, because Google right now is looking at mobile and ranking based on performance on mobile. So we want to make sure that how's it load on mobile, load time, broken links, things like that. We also do a test to make sure that the content is it came from the company, that it's not plagiarized, and things like that. So we want to make sure that these are things that Google is happy about. And a lot of times when someone builds out a site, what they do is they do what is called a no index, no follow, so that Google is not taking a website that is half made, half built out and start indexing it. So it's kind of like Google comes in there and then the website, the server says, thank you, Google, for stopping by, but right now, please don't index anything from this website. Thank you, have a good day. So Google leaves. And so then the website is finished, and the tech person, the webmaster, whatever you call them, they've done their job, the website is launched. But a lot of times they forget to release the no index, no follow. And so Google is not able to go in there into the website, the back end of the website, and spider and crawl the website and start to index it. And a lot of people forget that, and it's an honest mistake, it happens. Yeah. And you as a marketer, you don't think about it because you figure, it should have been done. And as the owner of the website, probably you've never even heard of it. But this is something that sometimes people are scratching their head and they're like, why am I not ranking? And it's something as simple as that. So there are like a checklist of things to go over to make sure that the website is, quote unquote, optimizable. And the last thing I'll say on this subject is the pages are tagged correctly. A lot of e-commerce sites or, most websites, they have website.com / and then like a filler XYZ21B, whatever. It could be a stock number or something. Or it could be that they downloaded a picture from their computer and it gave it like a random number for that download.
Oh my gosh, I know exactly.
And so Google takes that and makes a website, calls that page, website.com / 214, $! Whatever. And so Google can't understand what that is. And so if you're selling, in this case, I'm looking at you, you're wearing hats. So if let's say you're looking to do a black baseball cap with a skull, it should be there in the description, as opposed to these random numbers and signs. And so these are things that when we look through the website, we want to make sure that the load time is good, no broken links, the pages are tagged correctly, that it's indexable before we spend this effort to try to get Google's attention. So that's kind of the starting point, is the competitor analysis, the keyword analysis, and making sure that the website is optimizable.
And you work on analytics. Do you do a lot of work on Search Console?
I've done, absolutely.
And so as me as a PPC guy, Search Console isn't as important because that doesn't, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't display paid information. That's primarily organic ranking, correct?
Correct.
Nice. Explain Search Console a little bit, because that's probably, just like you mentioned, business they don't know. They probably don't even, people listening to this never heard of Search Console. Can you explain that a little bit? Can you explain as simple as we can to our listeners the importance of a Search Console, Google Search Console?
Sure. So what it is Google is looking on the back end of your site in most cases, and it's giving you an idea what it thinks you need to do to improve. Google doesn't have anything that emails you saying, hey, if you do this, I'll rank you. It just is not.
That'll just be too easy.
Yeah, that's not how it works. It actually wants you to live your life and not worry about Google. Do your thing, and then it's going to see if it wants to rank you. But you can play detective and see what's working and what's not. I have something where I have a situation where on a website, there are 250 pages, and about 100 of them, Google is not indexing. It's showing up with errors and things like that. We're trying to figure out what it is. I've asked several people to look into it, and they're not able to figure it out. So I would have never been able to see that if I didn't look on the Webmaster Tools to see what's going on. I would just assume it's fine, because I could go to the website and the pages are there, but Google is not indexing it. Now, what you have to watch out for as the PPC manager is that those pages are not, the landing pages that you have that you're promoting are also, you don't have any crawl errors in there, or there aren't any errors coming up on those pages in particular. So as a PPC manager, that's about as far as I would go with that. You don't need to spend a lot more time on that.
We do have a statistic called quality score and landing page score, which we do have to worry about. Making sure the ad and the search is as relevant as possible, so the client pays as little bit as possible for the click. But sometimes we'll use a third-party application like High Level, or we'll build a hanging page, so it shouldn't show up in search, type of deal. Yeah,
I use Google Ads a lot of times when the client has a campaign going, and this is going to sound familiar going back to maybe about 15 minutes ago. I use Google Ads to figure out what Google thinks of a particular keyword matched with my client's website. So if it doesn't give it, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 quality score, probably we're not going to get ranked for that keyword organically. So if Google is not going to sell you the traffic for that keyword to that website, it for sure is not going to give that website free traffic and rank it organically. So we use Google Ads. Excuse me?
Unless changes are done to that site, correct?
Exactly. So what happens is we want to rank for a particular keyword. So we on Google Ads, we put it on that keyword to get traffic, to buy traffic. And then we see that it comes back with a quality score 2. So we're like, okay, we have to redo this landing page, or we have to add content, or something's wrong here. So we're not going to start an optimization campaign without fixing that page first before we move forward. So I'm not going to create videos, blogs, links, all the things that we need to do to get the attention of Google to that page where Google thinks this is not a good match between that keyword and that website for its user.
And once again, videos, blogs, links. If you're a small business owner and you're serious about ranking online and getting that traffic, videos, blogs, links, correct? I mean, just like you said.
Absolutely. You know, if you can cover those 3, it's a very good start. You know, obviously online reputation management is huge. So Google reviews, Facebook reviews, Yelp reviews, and things like that. But if you can do content and get things rolling, you're golden, especially on a local basis.
I hate Yelp, dude. Like you have to use it. What's it called? Is it indexing or just making sure you're on multiple platforms, like all that? But man, they will call you, like poor businesses, they'll call you relentlessly.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about Yelp. Isn't Yelp real big in Los Angeles?
I think Yelp is big everywhere, but yeah, in most businesses, there's a user journey, and they find you, whether it's on Google paid ads or organic or whatever. They come to your website, and then they click around your website. They check out your social media, see what's going on there, and then they'll go check out your reviews, make sure that what their other people are saying about you. And so there's kind of a user journey, client journey that's happening there. And if you can, because they're not walking into your store to buy this shirt or your cap, they're kind of trying to play detective and figure out, can I trust these people? Is my credit card going to be safe? Or are they going to deliver? Are they going to, whatever? And you want to make sure. Some people are more comfortable looking at social media and getting that sense. Other people on Facebook reviews or Google reviews or Yelp. So there's different ways to put people's mind at ease and to show them, hey, this is what I do.
Nice. Building that trust. I like how you said that. Trust and brand reputation is definitely part of your recipe for clients.
Absolutely. It's different. I could say all the nice things about myself in the world. If somebody else stands up and says something nice about me, it just holds more weight.
The reviews, essentially.
Exactly.
Eric, if people want to find you, talk to you, maybe hire you, where can they find you?
They could go to my website. It's thisismysouthbay.com. And if they're interested if they have any questions on SEO strategies, or they want to run some competitor analysis reports, or any questions that they have on digital marketing and SEO in particular, there's a book now button there. They can book a 15-minute free consultation, and I will answer any questions that they have.
Perfect. Eric, I appreciate you coming on the show again. I know you have another meeting to get to, so I'll make sure you get to that on time.
Thank you, Tony.
And until then, everyone, hit Eric up, check out his stuff, and book a free book consultation with him. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.